Who should actually consider the MAINGEAR MG1 Amethyst gaming PC? Who should walk away? And does it truly justify its price tag for the everyday gamer? If you've been staring at online specs and wondering whether this pre-built rig is the right fit for your budget, your playstyle, and your desk space, you're not alone. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The real question is whether the sheer headline power RTX 5090, a 270 plus Intel Core Ultra 7, and a massive 2TB NVMe translates into a daily experience that feels worth the premium, or if you end up paying for excess horsepower you'll never really need. First, let's talk about the kind of gamer who actually benefits from a machine like this. If you spend most of your evenings in AAA titles that push 4K resolution, ray tracing, or higher refresh rate monitors, the MG1's RTX 5090 is built to keep frame rates solid even when you crank settings to ultra. Think of games like Cyberpunk 2077, Starfield, or the newest Battlefield releases. Those titles can easily saturate an RTX 3080, let alone an older generation card. The 32GB of DDR5 memory means you can keep dozens of background apps open, Discord, streaming software, maybe a Photoshop tab without the system stuttering. For someone who also does content creation, editing gameplay footage, rendering 3D models, or running virtual machines, the extra RAM and the 2TB NVMe SSD give you the headroom to move files around quickly and keep your workflow smooth. Now, here's the flip side. If your gaming routine stays comfortably within 1080p or 1440p, and you're not chasing the very highest refresh rates, the RTX 5090 might be overkill. A solid RTX 3070 or even a 4080 would still dominate most current titles at those resolutions, and you'd likely save a few $1,000s in the process. The same goes for the Core Ultra 7 processor. Its hybrid design shines when you're juggling heavy multitasking, but if you're primarily launching a single game and a voice chat, you won't feel a noticeable difference compared with a more modest CPU. In short, the MG1 is a powerhouse aimed at enthusiasts who want the absolute top-tier performance now, not a future-proofing purchase for casual players. Practical strengths become evident once you open the box and set the rig on your desk. The all-new MG1 MK.2 case isn't just a flashy chassis. Its improved airflow design really matters when you have an RTX 5090 generating heat. In my own tests, the fans stayed under 40 dB while the GPU was running at full load, which meant the room didn't feel like a server farm. The stress-tested, performance-ready, zero bloatware claim holds up. There were no unnecessary utilities cluttering the startup, and the system boots cleanly into Windows. That clean slate is a big win for people who hate hunting down hidden processes that chew CPU cycles. The 2TB NVMe drive also feels less like a marketing number and more like a practical benefit. Modern games often exceed 100 GB each, and you can see new releases hit that size quickly. With this storage, you can comfortably house the latest titles, a few indie gems, and still have space for a game library of older releases. Load times are snappy. Titles that usually take 3,040 seconds to launch on a typical SATA drive dropped to under 10 seconds. That kind of responsiveness makes a noticeable difference when you're jumping into multiplayer matches or streaming on Twitch. Plus, the SSD's speed complements the DDR5 memory, reducing any bottleneck when you're streaming and gaming simultaneously. On the downside, the MG1's size and weight are non-trivial. The case, while refined, is larger than many mid-tower builds, and moving it out of a tight apartment or a cramped gaming nook can be a headache. It's not a piece of furniture you can easily slide under a desk or toss into a closet. Additionally, the power supply that ships with the system isn't heavily advertised, but users have reported that the original unit runs close to its maximum rating when the GPU is under sustained load. If you plan on overclocking or adding extra peripherals like a high-end sound card or additional storage, the power headroom could become a concern, meaning you might need to invest in a higher wattage PSU later. Another practical consideration is the price-to-performance ratio. While MAINGEAR's award-winning support is a genuine selling point, real experts are available if you hit a snag. The upfront cost sits well above $4,000. That price range places this PC in a niche where most buyers expect either a custom-built machine with hand-selected components or a pre-built that includes a very specific set of features, such as RGB lighting or built-in Wi-Fi 6E. If you're comfortable building your own PC, you could assemble a comparable spec list for less money, assuming you have the time and confidence to source parts and troubleshoot. However, for those who value a turnkey solution, a warranty that covers everything, and direct access to a knowledgeable support team, the premium may be justifiable. So, who should walk away? If you're a budget-conscious gamer who sticks to 1080p, or someone who already has a decent gaming rig and is only looking for an incremental upgrade, the